front when I was trying to get a park this afternoon, and he insisted that I tip them, and I might as well go that way just to make things interesting. Mulgrave in an upset for me. I'm easily swayed. What about you, Andy?
Oh, look, I think Doncaster will win today. I think their forward running will really play out.
Let's head to the centre of the ground as we get underway in the Choose Tap first semi-final in Division 2. Doncaster and Mulgrave from Tormore Reserve, and it's the latter in the Lions that win the clearance through Parker. He fumbles, he's tackled by a couple of Sharks, and will eventually have a stalemate, a secondary bounce in the centre of the ground. As we mentioned, conditions very, very good here at Tormore Reserve. Should have no effect on the state of the game. It should be a free-flowing encounter. The tap won by Jarvis in the ruck contest. A couple of fumbling instances, and an umpire's picked out a free kick. It's going the way of Mulgrave by the looks of it against Ewan McKenzie, and it will be taken on centre wing, and the recipient looks as if it is Dean Siakoulis.
Absolute star, Dean Siakoulis, a ripper season.
So Siakoulis, as BWS mentioned, a fantastic year, very consistent across the board. Kick towards centre-half forward. Well, didn't find a target at all, and Fiora takes an uncontested mark at centre-half back. The Sharks look to move it through the corridor. Colinari drops the mark, but regains it. Finds the hand pass and receives again. Colinari looks towards centre wing. The intended target in Muller was over his head, but a couple of players at the back, including Siakoulis, who can go for a run, take a bounce, spear it in the Lumen cheesy direction. It's spoiled at the back. They've got a couple of crubbers. Dribbling kick towards goal. Only a minor score at the end, and Doncaster, they have first blood. They're one behind. Mulgrave yet to score. We've gone a minute in. That was Adrian Galache with the first score on the board, and Doncaster with a lead of one behind.
So Young brings the ball in, finds Siakoulis, I should say, as he gets a handball back. It was going to happen eventually, and it happened straight off the bat. I'm not impressed about that at all. Kick goes up towards the wing position. Intended target out there was Daniel Stokey, and over the boundary line it goes.
Good crowd out here, Benny.
Yeah, it's like I said, there's plenty of space to get a really good viewing spot. You feel like you're on top of the game, really close to the action, and no doubt it'll be a tough game of football. McKenzie in the ruck, Knowles overran the football. Going in after it was Carroll to lay a tackle, and a few helpers there. Jack Roper handing the ball back to the umpire. So it's on the half-forward line almost for the Doncaster Football Club. Umpire throws it up again. We'll give that one a fingertip to Gladman then. Knowles is on hands and knees. He's got Siakoulis there for support, but once again we'll have a stoppage, Andy.
Really good to see Doncaster getting in hard, in and under, creating a lot of the tackling and being proactive in that. I saw them earlier this year against Mount Waverley Blues, and they weren't exactly doing that.
McKenzie knocked it down towards the Anarchist direction. Colinari came in, but he was busted over the boundary line for a boundary throw-in right in front of the Doncaster interchange. And our Life Care boundary riders, a free kick's been paid to Rob Colinari, so we'll have a chance to drive the ball forward. He does so now. The kick goes towards the Muller direction. He had the front spot, almost took it on the chest. Nicely done there by his teammate in Siakoulis. But then it was mopped up by Willsmore. Got the handball on top there to Gilling, and now the Lions are away, Damo.
Jamar, the live wire across half-back, kicks it towards centre wing, missed the intended target. The Sharks can capitalise through Johnson. Breaks the tackle, arches the back, looks for Kinnear. It just went over his head, missed the target by a fraction. Taken at the back in the pocket. Dribbling kick towards goal from Carroll. Still a chance for Zach Carroll. He regains it, snaps across the face of goal, and again only a minor score. Doncaster 2 behind. Mulgrave yet to get a score on the board. Let's head boundary side thanks to Life Care and Braden Ingram.
Yeah, Damo, Ewan McKenzie, big man for Doncaster, just getting his left knee strapped at the moment. So he's just quickly come off the ground. They're going to have a look at that, and we'll keep an eye on it for you.
Really good effort there by Carroll, wasn't it, Andy?
Yeah, they just kept the ball alive, and that's what they've got to do to get early goals on the board today.
Jeez, a couple of missed targets early.
Yeah, it's that wasn't too impressive. They're working them out looking for Fowler. The kick goes out of bounds on the full, so it'll be Colinari. He's had a few touches early in the piece. He kicks the ball inside forward 50. Galache made the front spot. He was held without the football as well, but still took the mark. He is a class player, and he'll go back to have probably one of the most first genuine shots on goal so far.
Yeah, look, great play by Galache. He protected the space that he wanted to use where he could mark the ball, and in doing that took the mark. He got the free kick anyway. This guy knows where the goals are. I predict he should kick this one.
Well, once again, he's had a great season. Been a super player for the Sharks for a number of years now. He knows where the goals are. His experience should drive the ball home here. Comes in from about 35 metres. He kicked it straight into the man of the mark. If there was ever a Moz, that was it. They might have another chance here. Going after it, there was Carroll. Couldn't quite trap the football. Nicely done there by Knowles to get the handball away to Fowler. It was an interesting looking kick, but he gained about 40 metres or so, pushed it to the boundary side, wing position, and we'll have a boundary throw in.
Just I want to check with the boundary riders who number 59 is for Mulgrave.
Yeah, it's Tim Knowles out there. I've called it professionally from the get-go, Andy. So we'll have a boundary throw in. They had that mistake out at Doncaster a few weeks ago as well, Damo. So as it comes back in now, Johnson at the fall of ball. Might have to use the right foot here. Got the handball away, bouncing football. Eddie goes after it there for the Lions. Gets a handball across towards Jamo now, one way then the other, but he was slippery enough to get the handball backwards to Willsmore. He was put under a lot of pressure. Peduto's in there. He might be able to scoop on the football now. Lost it at the crucial stage. Jamo's there now to mop up for the Lions. His kick goes out towards the wing position, bouncing football in front of Knowles. Pearson's right on his hammer, and a good tackle over the boundary line to see another boundary throw in.
So fantastic effort in terms of the ferocity from both sides. We hope you're enjoying the broadcast, incidentally, on 98.1 Radio Eastern FM or streaming live on efl.org.au for all your finals action.
Around the globe.
Oh, yes, exclusively too. So a throw in right on centre wing here at Torball Reserve on the western side of the ground. It'll be another stalemate as Johnson is wrapped up by a couple of Lions. Ben Johnson, of course, 2010 Premiership player for Collingwood, making his mark in Doncaster this season. Stokey gathers the crumbs in the ruck contest. McKenzie gets down on hands and knees. He's claimed, and it'll be another bounce right on centre wing. So no side able to get a clear advantage in these first 6 minutes of the first term. Doncaster with just the two behinds. Johnson again breaks his way out of the pack, gets the hand pass away, spearing ball towards Galache at centre half forward. Flew high but couldn't take it. Gilly gets the hand pass, and Parker is away on the counter attack for the Lions.
And he gets the handball away, and now they'll move it forward in West. Gets a handball further afield out wide. Parker on the right boot, almost got mowed down. That might not have gone far enough. The umpire said Fowler, it is your mark. So almost at centre half forward now. Mulgrave, well, Fowler's going back as if he might even fancy himself here. A very experienced footballer, and we'll have a shot from just outside the 50 mark. How do you like his chances here, Andy?
Well, I don't think he'll make the distance, but look, it'll just be good to see Mulgrave go inside 50 for the first time today.
So Brad Fowler will come in now. Doncaster lead it by 2 points to nothing. He's pushing for distance, but he's working the wind back beautifully here. It might go all the way to the line, but Jarvis, well, he's an experienced ruckman himself who knows where to be at the right time and stood on the line and fisted that through for a minor score. That's their first on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Mulgrave are one behind, trailing by that very margin, and Doncaster are 2 points.
This was the exact scoreline at quarter time the last time these two sides played each other, so they certainly are accustomed to low-scoring encounters, Doncaster and Mulgrave. I suppose it suits their respective game styles as well. So the Sharks can bring it back into play. Kick out wide towards the halfback flank to no one in particular. It's going to be chopped off for the Lions by Gladman. Got the hand pass away. Eventually ends up with Siakoulis, who could use the pace to burn and shoot towards goal. But again, it's off target. Only a minor score to the right of the goal face. So Mulgrave level up with two behinds with Doncaster. We gone 8 minutes on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard in this first term.
He's that live wire, Siakoulis. I really think if Mulgrave are going to win this game today, a lot of it's going to be with his influence.
Well, Fiora went short, found Johnson. And the greatest looking kick off the boot, but it found the target. Johnson goes towards Jarvis over the top of him. Muller takes the mark. So they've moved it up almost to the wing position here. The kick goes towards Colinari, put his body on the line. He was, well, he was met there by Brett Willsmore, and the umpire said it was a little bit crude. The play on now in towards the middle of the ground. Anarchis, nice handball over the top. McKenzie back to Johnson. Now they switch it out towards Kinnear, who's made some space on the wing position, who just shows his opponent there, Butler, in the football. Kinnear drives the ball forward towards Muller. It was knocked away from him, and at the fall of the ball, Anarchis charges the pack. He was dispossessed of the footy. Muller goes in again. Good play there by Gladman to lay the tackle. Good defensive play by Mulgrave. They've eventually earned the free kick, keeping themselves alive. So it will be Jack Roper from the half-back line.
Well, Roper certainly showed signs the last time these two sides played. He can make an impact, goes across the defensive goal face to Jabo. Hand pass comes to Matthew Young. They eventually link it around here, the Lions. Butler has certainly advertised this game style where they share it around. Jabo towards centre wing. Now the hand pass comes forward. The running play from Fredericks. He's held up. Still a chance for the Lions as they link up through handball. West swings round onto the right foot, sets sail towards goal. Brilliant kick, and the first major on the board goes to Mulgrave. They move on to 1-8, leading Doncaster two behinds. A fantastic team-lifting goal there from David West, and we've gone 10 minutes on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Grant Soupy Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap.
Interesting contrast in styles. Doncaster leading the contested possessions 14-9. Mulgrave leading the uncontested possessions 25-13.
Oh, that was a great goal, Andy.
Yeah, it was. They just shared it around. They kept it alive. They kept pushing the ball forward. That's what I really liked about it. It was all positive play, and it was a well-deserved goal to David West.
So back in the middle now. Jarvis goes up, knockdown comes towards Anarkas, a little bit of a fresh air shot, saw him dispossessed of the football. And C. Cavallis sees the ball handed back to the umpire inside the centre square out here at Tormore Reserve. 6 points is the difference. Mulgrave had the lead. Pye throws it up. Oh, might be able to get out of this. The Lions, no. Yes, it was a free kick coming back to the Mulgrave Football Club. So moving the ball quite fast here. On the right boot, Siakoulis goes up towards the wing position. The kick wasn't too crash hot, but he worked really hard there, Lester. Backwards to go forwards. On the right boot, Butler goes up towards centre half forward. Bouncing football might link up nicely here for Siakoulis. On the left boot, drives it in towards the forward pocket. And the umpire's paid another free kick, and another free kick going the way of the Lions.
Yeah, it must have been in the back there as the player was charging out for the footy.
Just got forced under it while jumping for the ball, and in doing so, he's obviously just got him in the back, and it's a free kick.
So
just forced him
for
under
the football to come back and see who will be the recipient. I think it's David Wazer.
No, it might be Darren Butler. It's difficult to tell from this angle, but it is in fact Wazer.
So been an important player this year, David Wazer. He'll come in now on the left boot. Umpire does not move. 2 goals in 3 minutes for the Mulgrave Football Club and increase their lead on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard to 2 straight goals. 2-2-14, plays 2 behind.
I actually played cricket with junior cricket with David Wazer, and he was always a bit of a live wire when it came to the cricketing sport, and he's kind of the same as well in the footballing sense. Just always provides that option for goal, and that was a sumptuous kick there by Wazer.
Sumptuous.
Yes,
that's a very, very good synonym there from Andy Paolacci.
I thought you'd be impressed, Damo.
Oh, yes. Now the Lions, well, almost a bitty boil over thus far. We go on 12 minutes and they've scored the only 2 majors on the board against all odds. Can they continue to maintain that level of intensity? Back in the middle, Booth wins the knockout for the Lions, and again they win the clearance through Butler. A probing kick inside the 50, but taking the mark defiantly there is Aaron Fiora on the last line of defence. Fiora looks up towards centre-half back, mark taken by Carroll. He's been lively thus far in this game. Good mark on centre wing. It was a high ball against 2, and Hill took it against the odds. It'll be his free kick. Certainly for a chopping of the arms, but he held it in his own right, Hill. And they go backwards to go forwards here, do the Sharks. Eventually it ends up with Marganis between half-back and centre wing in the corridor. They like moving it around that area here, the Sharks, and he can just lope toward Marganis towards centre half forward. Kadir flies high. Spoil from the back came from Fredericks for the Lions, but roving the football is Anarkas with class, with composure. Tries to swing round on his right foot. He's successful. Finds the option in Ramboldi. They're still 70 metres out from home. Between centre wing and half forward, the Sharks. They need that first goal just to settle the nerves and stem the flow. High ball from Ramboldi. Looks inside the 50. The Lions have the numbers. And a shepherding free kick is going the way of Mulgrave, and the recipient looks as if it's going to be Willsmore.
So Willsmore, well, he wanted to go across the face. It was risky. Eventually gave the fend off, and kick once again goes out of bounds on the full from the half back line for Mulgrave. So they're letting themselves down there. Brad Fowler will be really disappointed with that one. So, Ramboldi went short. McKenzie takes it. He's about 70 metres out. It's a good shoe looking towards Johnson. He just didn't have enough height on him. And Siakoulis picks it up nicely, goes for the old 1-2 with Booth, and now they're away. The Lions using the outer side here of Tormore Reserve. Kick goes to a one-on-one situation. Now the Lions will get the chance to surge forward, but there's nobody home though except Ben Marganis, who is just waiting for someone to kick it his way. Takes the mark, moves the football pretty quickly here in the end. Nobody really was going after the pill in the end, but Doncaster, they had a few options. Ramboldi over the top, that's okay. On the right boot, they go up towards the Cavallis direction. Who takes it inside the middle of the ground. Nail it by the end of the day, Damo.
You've got to brush up on your Greek there, BWS.
I grew up in Templestowe as well, I should know better. The kick goes out towards Ramboldi, who's in the last couple of minutes got a few touches.
Notice they're just chipping the ball around here, Benny.
Yes, Stewart in bits and pieces. McKenzie takes it now, so they still haven't gained any distance. Might go back to Ramboldi. He's still by himself. It was a risky kick. Eddie was on his hammer, but he takes the mark. So Coman presents across half forward, but instead, once again, they're
not wanting to go long, are they, BWS? They're not, yeah.
crisscrossing their way. Well, it's good one-on-one play by Mulgrave, who are really blocking that forward entry as the kick goes towards the class of Anarchis. Can he hold the mark? And knocked away from him. That was a good fist by Jackie Roper, and we'll have a boundary throw in.
That's a huge win to Mulgrave. As you said, they went one-on-one. Doncaster didn't want to pull the trigger, and when they finally did, they got all the numbers defensively, Mulgrave, so well done.
Pai brings it back in. Kinnear being the ruck, missed all players then, so it might be here for Johnson to run onto. He was a bit harsh there on Timmy Knowles, and he'll receive the free kick, the line, across the half-back line. Wanted to go off with the handball there. Short passes on, that's okay. Well, it's okay if you take the mark. Luckily won himself a free kick there, Fredericks, and he takes off, let himself down with the kick. That was a bouncing football, lands in the arms of Eddie, who went one way, then the next. That could have merely been pinged holding the football. Great play there by the big man, Mackenzie. Umpire said play on, though. They're doing it the hard way along the boundary line. Brad Fowler sees it over for another boundary throw-in.
Interesting situation this game is actually poised at the moment. You feel like Doncaster just need that first goal to settle their nerves, but for the most part of it, Mulgrave are controlling play.
Mackenzie wins the tap, and Arcus was stripped of the football, and Carroll is claimed. We'll have another bounce between half-forward and centre wing for the Lions. You do notice the Lions have congested their defensive zone and forced the Sharks wide as well. So another stoppage. Crumbing the pack there is Siakulas for the Lions. Sends a probing kick inside the 50. Spoil came from the back from Fiora. Snap goal from Edwards. It's rolling towards the face, but it's only a minus score once again. So Mulgrave move on to 2-3-15. The Doncaster 2 behinds. We got 16 and a half minutes on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. So Aaron Fiora will be the designated kicker this afternoon. You get the sense for the Sharks. Chips it towards centre half back, finds the intended target in Carroll. As we've seen so far in this game, Doncaster just content to chip it around and orchestrate an attack slowly. Anarchis takes the mark between half back and centre wing on the western side of Torball Reserve. It's a lovely day for football, a carnival atmosphere. Kick towards centre wing, missed the target. In fact, Labman came in and took it on the half volley. Was
good work by the big man
as well.
Yeah, certainly versatile to go down low and take the mark at ground level. Gladman, a long ball towards centre half forward. So 1-on-2 in favour of the Sharks. The ball falls out the back. Again, Doncaster have the numbers to mop it up. Anarchis receives on the half back line. Hand pass to Mackenzie. They link up well. Carroll's had a lot of the football thus far. Again, Anarchis looking for Muller, who's moved up the ground towards centre wing. He dropped the ball, and as a consequence, it's forced over the line by Siakulas. Let's head to Grant Campbell for some Tuestat match stats.
Doncaster had the first 5 inside 50s of the match, but now it's locked at 8 apiece, so good comeback by Mulgrave.
And Gladman to go up against Mackenzie in the ruck. Yeah, fantastic duel all day. There's certainly no doubt about that. Anarchis, hot to trot, little handball back. That was okay. Carroll now had some time to size up the kick towards the Kinnear and Carroll direction. Knocked away and over the boundary line out of bounds, the Galache direction, I should say. And we'll have a boundary throwing right in front of AT and the gang on the Doncaster bench. Never afraid to use his voice throughout a football match. Andrew Tranquilli, reappointed for next season earlier on in the week, so fantastic that the clubs secured the services of him. But now inside the forward 50 they go towards the Lumacheesy direction. The big man comes out, barged a few packs. Johnson got a little handball away to Peduto, but he was quickly wrapped up in a fantastic tackle there by Blaine Coates, and we'll have a bounce 55 metres out from Doncaster's goals. They still searching for their first major of the afternoon. A bit of holding in the ruck against Kinnear that time. So the free kick will go the way of Gladman, and he'll kick the ball out wide because Coates has made some space here. The ball needs to sit up for him now. Knocked it to the advantage of Leicester. Going after it right on his hammer there was Hill, though. Leicester did well. Got up, booted it, ball inside forward 50. This is a good chance for them over the top of Booth. Knocked away Parker for Doncaster. We'll see it over the boundary line and out of bounds. About 35 metres out from the Mulgrave goal line now.
Just feel like Doncaster's slow build-up in going to their forward line's really not working for them. They're just ending up getting forced wide. I think they've got to break the lines, take the game on, and get the ball inside 50 when the numbers are limited.
And perhaps move it through the corridor as well. It's one of their assets. So ball in, deep inside the Lions forward line. Eddie shovels out a hand pass to no one in particular. Fiora at ground level did well to pick up the football. Eventually forced the hand pass out to his teammate Johnson, who could sprint away. Dribbling kick forward by Peduto. We'll see the boundary line between half forward and centre wing. No, it's going to be kept in play by Fowler at the end. A long high ball towards centre half forward. A big fist at the back. Stokey flew high to take it. Still 60 metres around for the Lions goal. Hand pass out to West. He's kicked one already. Tries to lay it off in the direction of Wazer at ground level. Breaks the tackle. Falls to ground. Regains his footing. Snap around the corner. It's a floater across the face. Still in play. One-hander. What a grab. It's stuck in the 1 minute. Adam Booth on a one-on-one contest, pure strength. That was a sensational grab, Andy Pale.
Oh, what a great mark. It was the same as what Galache did before, just protected that space, and one arm he used it to obviously fend off his opponent, the other arm just to control the mark, and really deserves a goal from that effort, surely.
If I hadn't have lost my voice from the cold, that would have been a fantastic grab from Adam Booth, and he goes in and slots the goal as it deserves. And a goal to Mulgrave. They now have their third on the board, would you believe it? They move on to 3-3-21. They lead Doncaster 2 behind. We go on 20.5 minutes in this first term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. What a turn-up.
What a turn-up indeed. Oh, it was fantastic work there by Booth, and great work by Cheeseman, who actually kept the ball alive on the boundary line when you thought it was out of bounds. He just kept it alive and put it inside 50. But from there, Booth kicked 5 goals last week against Bayswater, and continuing his good form here today.
So the margin is 19 points. 3 goals, 21 to 2 behinds. Doncaster with the first 2 behinds of the match. So the last 6 scoring shots on the board to the Mulgrave Football Club. Be pretty happy with this lead. Booth kicked that ball into someone's backyard out on Baronia Road. That's how big his kick was through the big stick. So back in the middle now, Gladman goes up, gets the knockdown that time, and a free kick again. So to Tim Knowles, who's been, I'm not going to say he's been targeted, but he's earned a few free kicks already. So kick goes up towards the wing position now. Ball flies, Lester's there. Another free kick for a chop of the shoulders. So Booth has got it about 60 metres out. He's too far this time, but they've got players aplenty inside, and taking the mark there is Darren Butler just inside the arc. So been asked to come back around on his mark now.
Doesn't look confident.
Gilling receives the handball. He might be able to slot this. He's kicked it to the hot spot, 10 metres out from goal. They've still got the option. Siakula, snap around the body. That's how you play front and centre football. And Mulgrave on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard have opened themselves out a 25-point lead at the 22-minute mark of this first quarter. 4-3-27 plays 2 behinds, Andy.
Well, BWS, who'd have thunk it? What a great start by Mulgrave, and awesome play by Siakoulis. Just as you said, was in the right position, great front and centre work, and obviously has an eye for goal. Put that through with ease.
Let's head boundary side thanks to Life Care, Brayton Ingram and Blake Gray.
Yeah, sorry, it's Blake Gray, fellas. You saw after that goal from Mulgrave, their 4th goal, the wind's really starting to pick up now, so they're starting to capitalise on it.
Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap Match Stats.
The clearance is 7 apiece, but it's 8-7 now with Mulgrave hitting all 5 centre clearances.
So West on the left boot goes inside forward 50 again, and Wazer playing out in front, takes it on the second bite. So Mulgrave another shot on goal, Andy. This kick will go from about 45 to 50 metres out, but almost directly in front.
Yeah, you'd think he'd nail it as well, given what Blake just said about the breeze. But I mean, look, the breeze does play, some sort of influence in the game. But Mulgrave has simply been the better team. They're winning it out of the middle, and here comes a shot on goal.
David Wazer on the left boot. He makes the umpire work for that one. It went straight, but it went straight through the behind. So minor score is the result. That's their 4th on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 4-4-28 Mulgrave. Doncaster still 2 behinds, 23 minutes gone.
I also think Doncaster's running back, they're great when they're running forward, but their defensive running has been a little lacking. And when they've turned the ball over, Mulgrave have moved the ball from arc to arc with, again, far too much ease.
Well, the alarm bells would already be sounding for the Sharks as Fiora prepares to kick the ball back into play. Looks short and chips the pass deep into the back pocket, and Shiverbush takes the mark. So Matt Shiverbush, he's been a steadfast defender for the Doncaster Footy Club for a regular period now.
Very important player.
He's asserted himself, that's for sure, in that position. Big fly at the back from Colinari, couldn't quite hold the mark. And a number of players opt to keep it in play but are unsuccessful. We'll have the ball in right on centre wing on the western side of Tormore Reserve.
Here's a free kick holding.
Well, you get the sense that frustration is starting to creep into the Doncaster game as the umpire again blows the whistle.
It was against Siakavalis. Just he looked frustrated when when Butler remonstrated with him, and it was the reaction that got the free kick.
So Darren Butler, the recipient from centre wing, looks towards centre half forward. Big flight at the back came from Wazer. Good ground level play there again from Siakoulis. Chips it over the top. A clever kick, a great vision. And the mark taken by Knowles, but he's on a very acute angle, 45 metres out from goal.
Dean Siakoulis really stamping his authority on this game early in the piece.
Yeah, he's been massive in this game so far, and I called it earlier. I said Siakoulis is the man, and he has been thus far.
So Tim Knowles to shoot for goal from 45 metres out. It's a tough angle to contend with. It won't quite make the distance. In fact, it's gone through for a behind. It's drifted to the right of the goal face, and Mulgrave move on to 4-5-29. They lead Doncaster 2 behinds on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap Match Stats.
Free kicks 11-3 in favour of Mulgrave.
Interesting stat, Aaron Fiora now for the Sharks. Short passes on. Ben Johnson takes it in the back pocket.
The AFL connection.
Yes.
Brothers in arms. Well, it was a shocker of a kick. Dale Cheeseman cut across about half forward line, so 55 metres out for Mulgrave. They'll get another chance to go forward here as Cheeseman pops it up towards the booth direction. He's at the back. He had a bite of it at the fall of the ball. Wazer comes in. It might just sit up nicely for him. Wazer on the left boot, swigs around and swigs it through. Fantastic goal there by David Wazer. That's his second, and that's the Mulgrave Football Club's 5th on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 5-5-35. Doncaster 2 behinds.
This is getting a little bit scary, and I simply can't imagine what I'm seeing here. Mulgrave are just all over the Sharks, and the Sharks, despite their first 5 minutes where they looked likely to, obviously build a score, they've just been completely overrun by a rampant Mulgrave midfield, and it's all one-way traffic here.
Well, certainly Doncaster, they won't be in panic mode or on the canvas yet, but they trail by 33 points early in this game as we approach the cusp of quarter time, and again the Lions winning it out of the centre through Stokey. Chip pass found West at the end, 70 metres out from goal, looks towards the leading Wazer, couldn't quite take it on the half volley. Eventually it's Crubb forward again from Roper, kick across the face of goal. Chance now to keep it in play, Marganis, but it's unsuccessful again. We'll have a throw in deep in the forward pocket for the Lions, and they're looking ominous. So ball in. Tell you what, if the Lions can register their 6th goal, it would certainly enforce panic stations, wouldn't it, in the Doncaster camp. So the ball in, Stokey at ground level, opts to pick it up. He's claimed by a couple of Sharks, and it looks as if we'll see another stalemate. 30 metres out for the Lions' goal. They are pressing, and they've been quite intimidating at doing so.
Absolutely. Doncaster just need the siren here. They just need to regroup.
So Ramboldi tried to break the tackle. Siakoulis also opted to break through, but he's claimed, and again,
big bear hug by Booth there.
Yes. The ferocity certainly on show for the Mulgrave Football Club this afternoon. The Sharks need to lift. Johnson can provide that lift by kicking it towards centre half back, but his kick again to no avail as Jabot picks it up. On the bounce, hand passes it back to Parker, sends a long ball towards full forward into the hot spot. A brilliant mark, almost paid there. In fact, it will be paid according to the umpire, and it looks as if McKenzie's the recipient right on full back on the last line of defence for the Sharks.
So McKenzie, short passes on. Marganis takes it now. Will move the ball up towards the Grocott direction. I think notes Parker there for Doncaster. Managed to pick himself up nicely there. Got the handball away to Carroll on the right boot. It was a bit of a grubber of a kick towards the Grocott direction over the boundary line and out of bounds on the full. So letting themselves down at times here as Parker on the right boot kicks it up towards the, well, McKenzie was in the front spot for Doncaster in the end, had a little bit of time. Little handball out by Schimmelbusch, found Fiora, but he ran himself into trouble because Lester was right on his hammer and brought to ground, and will have a bounce 50 metres out from the Mulgrave goal line, which is where all the action's been so far in this term. 28 minutes gone, and it's a 33-point lead to the Lions. So there certainly wouldn't be too many people around this ground that would have expected that at this point in time, that's for sure. So can Doncaster get themselves back into the game, or can Mulgrave close out this quarter with another goal? It was a dangerous time for them. So you heard it in the background. The quarter time siren has sounded out here for the Choose Tap Division 2 elimination final. Effectively, it's known as a set first semi-final, but the winner will go on. The loser, well, they can worry about it next year. But we hope you're enjoying the broadcast here on 98.1 Radio East, and streaming live on efl.org.au. David Wazer has 2 goals for the Lions. He's the multiple goal kicker, but there's plenty of other finals happening, 2 others in fact, as you go local for your football around the eastern suburbs today. So make sure you stay tuned to hear